buddy.
So your titles on this thing, I was reading them for, full disclosure, I have no idea what we were going to be getting into today. And I saw the title and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I sent you the show notes earlier.
No, I saw it. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Is that I didn't know. And I looked at it and was like, what did it say? Like full cranium something?
Minority Report shock therapy. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was something else that I was laughing at that here. You sent me the link. It's right here. It said, oh, that's weird. Did the link disappear?
Shouldn't have.
It's the link to your after hours page. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So here's the title. It says, so Thursday, March 7th, we cover the latest news and events happening around the world in the exclusive show, quote, Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I can show that to everybody. I have it set up to see that. So
Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation. You know what? That reminds me of something that's very weird that we should talk about.
Yeah. Well, I have this up because there's some. I was reading about some stuff, and then I watched some videos about it, and I thought it was really weird. But yeah, this is the website here for anybody who hasn't visited the website. It'll have right now show. I'm going to mute that. Going live. Fucking. Let's answer it. Hello.
Hi, Brian.
Who the hell is this?
Kelly, didn't you recognize the 714?
No. My cousin? This is California?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I haven't talked to you in like years. How you doing?
Good. I'm visiting in June.
Are ya?
That's
Hey, are
funny.
you busy like in an hour? Can I call you in an hour? Because I'm kind of busy.
Oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me? I haven't talked to you in years and then you have, oh my god,
I swear, I will call you in an hour-ish. Come on, I'm not going to forget to call you back.
Tell her you're on a thing and she'll recognize.
All right.
She'll probably freak out knowing that she's,
That was my
you
cousin.
can't- I forgot you couldn't hear me. That's right. You had your headphones on. saying that, if you told her you were on a podcast, she probably would have flipped out.
She might have. Or she might have tuned in. She lives in California. That was actually she's my cousin, but she was like my sister. We grew up in the same house growing up. And when we moved back from Cali many years ago, she stayed and didn't come home. But then over the years, I had got a new phone about a few years ago, and I had lost all my contacts, lost everything on my old phone. So I lost her phone number. So there it is. And then she just called me. And to be honest, I seen the area code, and I assumed it was just some telemarketing troll trying to get me to sign up for some crazy, mortgage reduction. Who knows what's. So that's why I answered it. We were going to troll the telemarketer there together.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So no, I did not think that it was going to be a family member. Like, hey.
So what is transcranial
Okay.
or whatever that was?
So it not quite shock therapy, like as I put here on the website, and I'll open up the link here. This company in Tennessee is doing shock treatment for. This is voluntary shock treatment, and this is an article that was published by Northrop Grumman. They have a media group called Now, and it's Northrop Grumman, and they did this article. Okay, this company in Tennessee is doing shock treatment therapy, but they're saying that this is for, basically human, acceleration. Right? They actually make it a point to say we're not trying to create super soldiers, but for real, yeah, I know. They legitimately are. Like what they're doing is they're legitimately trying to do that. They're saying that if they can tap into your brain with this electromagnetic stimulation, that they can get people to do and feel good, but they can also reverse. They can also reverse the polarity and make you not even be able to comprehend. Like you can't even. The guy was like like he couldn't even finish the sentence. Like you could see it was on the tip of his tongue, but he couldn't even finish the sentence. But so
how interesting. It's mind control.
Yes. So they put this technology, right, and they explain this here. Northrop Grumman explains this, that they want to take this technology and they want to reduce the amount of people that it takes to control a drone. They're saying right now it takes 4 airmen to control a drone to do missions. They want to use these technologies to enhance the brain of one single pilot so that the drone only needs one person to operate. They're saying that this magnetic stimulation of the brain can enhance your brain enough to do away with 4 people. And then they're like, think of what that would do in the the working world if everybody was that much more efficient.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
right, the working world. This would apply very selectively to people, right? Like you probably, it would increase somehow like your ability to like work longer. But when it comes to brain power, it would not be just be like given to all the average peons, right? It's as it always does. All these things will be applied to the ruling class first and then trickle down as needed. But that's, probably going to apply to like the factory workers, right? It'll probably be used to make them just not, be able to work 40 hours straight.
Right. Now, I don't know if you want to listen to switch over and just listen to, maybe mute your mic. I'm going to play this little part of this video here that explains how they want to do this with the drone operators. So you won't be able to hear it through our mic, but you'll be able to hear it through the replay on YouTube if you have your watch page up. So here goes.
Of advancing memory, but it is also funded by the United States Air Force.
Right now it takes about 4 people sitting in kind of a mock-up cockpit to fly a UAV, and what we're trying to do is get humans to the point where 1 human can fly 4 UAVs and not need all this background support. So really try to make humans.
So I misquoted it. Okay, where it takes 4 humans to fly 1 UAV, they want 1 human to fly 4. I'll keep playing it.
Humans more efficient and optimize their role in that unmanned.
Sorry, I was listening to so I was going to ask about that because I thought it was, I thought, I was like, there's no way that it takes 4 people to fly a drone today. I was pretty sure that it was 2 at the most.
I misquoted it, yeah.
2. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So then you'd have 1 man essentially flying 4 drones. This is madness.
Right.
And it's like, and it's increasingly creeping towards a situation where you have autonomous actions where lives are being taken. You know what I mean? Like it's getting further and further removed. And they always claim that. Like I was reading a story about these AI tanks they're now trying to implement. And it's like, they go, oh yeah, but trust me, at the end of the day, there's always a human that has to pull the trigger. And it's like, that's bullshit. Like, and they know it is because they later in the article explain how they're working towards a situation where, to basically just cut out the man in general, and it's like, so at what point do you get where you have machines taking human life without having to have a conscience behind it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's an alarming step.
Yeah, it is. The problem is this is a private company doing this in Tennessee, and they're basically running these experiments on just average people coming in to get treatment for PTSD or depression and all these other like just average conditions, but they're doing it. You can see what their goal is. That's why it's being funded by the Air Force.
That's just crazy. I mean, we're getting, again, all of these things we always talk about, they don't know what like the side effects would be. No one's ever done this before, right? And so it's like we're moving forward with this with the focus, the goal being to be better, more effective killers. Right? Like drones are not out there. They're killers, right? I mean, that's why they want 1 person to fly 4 so they can be more effective in wartime. Mm-hmm. And so that's the focus, not about like, what could it do to us? What could it do to the person? What effects could it have on his psychological, it's like, they don't care about that. And they may pretend they do, but it's singular focused. And it's all of this stuff is alarming. And none of this is about defending our country, right? It's all about offense,
right?
All of it, and that's all the money.
I started to think of, like what other applications or how could they, apply this technology in the real world and use the reverse part. Like I had said that there was, the guy goes in there and they showed him how they had the reverse polarity, and he was sitting there and he was trying to finish a sentence and he could not finish. Like he thought it was funny, of course, but he couldn't finish the sentence. Like what if this technology was, installed into cell phones? Like,
or
is
5G stuff be going around the country?
Right. Well, it has to be according to this, it has to be connected to your head. But what if everybody gets a phone call? Like there's this random phone call that rings across the country and everybody puts their phone to their head. Kind of like how the phones took over in the Kingsman, you know, made everybody psycho and killing people like crazy. And they put the phone to their head and they activated that reverse polarity magnet, and everybody just kind of sat down, and they were all just dumb. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, what's funny is it seems like all of these new things that are coming out, on one side of them, it's like, look at this glorious new scenario that we're using this for. But on a side note, you could be used in the other way to make it the opposite, right? But don't talk about that. We would never do that. We would never use the 5G to immobilize all of Americans. We want to give you better internet, right? We would never use this technology to make you stupider. We'll only use it to make you smarter, right? It's like odd that there's this other side of all these things that they can, like, depending on who's in charge and who's behind it, they can be like, yeah, we're going to attack you with 5G and make you really stupid. And just, you know, and I also thought it was interesting that, you know, everything was once corded that becomes uncorded, right? Your phone, your appliances everywhere. I mean, I feel like eventually, and I'm not, you know, I don't know all about this technology, but it seems logical that if it may be connected now, but how long until it's just a signal that can be sent that can do the same thing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if it's possible with that technology, but it makes me think about the 5G idea and having the ability to send out this, whatever it may be, right? But where's there a scenario where you might be plugged in? In mass, you know what I mean? Like maybe like VR in the future,
right? Like,
you know,
plugged
like,
into the hive.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like I was wondering
Matrix.
if there's a way that they could use a mass effort with this to dumb down the population, to pacify. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, these people were more than
you go.
dumb. They were completely incapacitated to function. They couldn't
but you could
speak.
turn the dial though, right? You could turn it to where it might not
I'm
be
sure.
noticeable.
I'm sure it could make you a vegetable, or just make you, a little bit
Make you
slow.
apathetic and stupid.
Yeah,
Right now,
yeah.
imagine that on video games for all this new generation. Right, you're connected. Right? That's the best example I could think of. Everyone's connected, playing headphones, whatever, and boom, right? You just made an entire generation a little less intelligent, which arguably is something that every ruling power has always wanted. Right, stupider people are easier to control.
Yeah.
Right, you dumb them down, you make them more lazy. That's bread and circus, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's,
no doubt.
That's crazy.
And thanks everybody for hitting that like and the share button. For those of you who are just joining us, a quick recap to what we're talking about is we're going over this technology called transcranial magnetic stimulation. And they're saying it's a shocking new way to unlock your potential. They're selling this to the public. This is private industry doing this to the public in Tennessee as an enhancer. They're basically saying that this is going to enhance your cognitive abilities by going in and getting not quite shock therapy. It's a magnetic therapy, and the people that are doing it, they're saying they like taste, you know, like copper in their mouth, which is typical for shock treatment. They say that the metal in your mouth taste is pretty normal, but that's what they're doing. And then obviously at the end of that video, this video here, and actually I want to play the end of this if you want to go ahead and tune into that. I'll play the last 30 seconds of it, where they actually say, well, we're not trying to build X-Men. We're not trying to, you know, super soldiers, but that's exactly what they say they're doing. They want one operator to fly 4 UAVs. They want one guy.
They wouldn't have made that caveat if that wasn't on their mind.
That is
right?
exactly the case, right? Right, so here we go. I'll play that last 30 seconds or so.
Maybe we just make humans better, make humans think faster, make humans more efficient, make humans' brains better accustomed to working in the types of data and environment that we know that they'll have to work in a military setting.
I can tell you for a fact we are not building weapons, and we are not building soldiers without conscience. We are trying to take a guy who is overworked, underpaid, and dancing as fast as he can, and help him to make fewer mistakes.
Bullshit.
I'll tell you for a fact that we're not making weapons. Let me say that again. We're not making weapons. It's like,
We're not making soldiers without a conscience.
yeah.
Click,
like,
click,
yeah,
click,
right.
click,
Just
tweak,
make sure you
tweak.
drill that down for us. You know, what's interesting about all this, though, is it's like, you know, I understand that, like, electromagnetic manipulation, let's say, is like the way the body works, right? It's electricity, right? I mean, we're the more we learn about how our bodies actually function, it makes sense that we don't know that this kind of thing would make sense. Let's put it that way, right? There's ways you could use electromagnetic manipulation to do things like that, but at the same time, one point in our not too far past, lobotomies were like the cutting edge of science, right? And medical treatment. It's like, and then, you know, very quickly, it was actually kind of a fad. It was like a 20, I don't want to misquote it, but, you know, it was like 20-year period where they were doing it, and then they realized, what the fuck, that's crazy. We got to stop doing that. And it got quickly put aside. But there was a period there where that was like what you did. Right, the little nail on the inside of the eye or the nose, and tap, tap, tap. You know, it's like, it just reminds me of something like that, where it's like, come get this new thing that we're barely understand, you know? And it's like, maybe it'll do something to you when you're tasting cotton. It sounds like it's one of those things that's probably best to wait it out a bit and see if these people end up being weirdo vegetables after 5 years or something. You know, it's like just dangerous, it sounds like.
Well, if anybody wants to watch that video in entirety, you can go to the Aftercast, click on today's podcast notes. I'll even show you how to get there. Go to the website. See, right here. This is the bottom of today's stream. Here's the link. Let's see. Here's the current stream. And right there, you can click this link right here. Don't worry, I'm not bringing you into an ad trap. My website is not monetized. Click this link right here, and boom, you're there, and you can watch. There's actually a couple videos if you want to know more. If you want to know more, click here.